When John Langdon works his 205-acre farm outside Benson, North Carolina, he feels the eyes of the community, his children, and the deep sense of responsibility his ancestors instilled in him.
The thing I'm most proud of, I would have to say, is it's our family farm. My parents and grandparents that were here before us leaves a legacy for me and pressure on me to do what I feel like they would have us to do.
Located in an area just beyond the suburban edge of Raleigh, North Carolina, Langdon and his wife Eileen and their children John, Michael, Hunter, and Megan know there's no hiding any element of their operation, a fact they see as an opportunity rather than a challenge.
We share our story, I think, just by being transparent about who we are and how we live, and we have an open door to our farm if someone would like to come, and we welcome them and hopefully educate them on what we do, how we do it, and how seriously we take our job to do it right and do it with excellence.
The Langdon roots run deep on this land. Each generation has focused on sustainable farming, creating a long legacy of stewardship.
My grandfather purchased this property in the middle 30s, and my mom and dad moved on the property, and it was deeded to them in the middle 40s. And then I came along, and I grew up in the fair to finish business.
When visitors take the Langdons up on their open-door invitation today, they discover a neatly kept farm that's evolved into a 7-barn finishing operation that produces about 20,000 hogs annually. As with most hog producers, animal health is a primary concern. That's something Eileen Langdon can speak to with uncommon authority, since she's also a veterinarian who practices full-time in a nearby town.
What we all want is a healthy end product. So if we start with a healthy pig, keep it healthy through the finishing process, and avoid medications if we don't need any, that's what we want. And we want an end product that's safe and wholesome and healthy, and that's what we're all about.
The environment in the barn is controlled for the people and the pigs. Starts all right here with this machine right here. It controls your curtains, your chimneys, your misters, and your feeders all through this one box. It's got several different sensors all over the barn that controls for senses, wind speed, temperature, and what the real temperature of the hogs are. And it adjusts the chimneys into the ceiling and the curtains on the walls, the misters on the walls, and that's how it manages the airflow in the barn.
Water conservation is also a vital concern.
We use cup waters in our system to conserve water. We metered the water before we put these in, we metered after. We're saving 47% of our water here from wastage, which allows us to not use as much medication. The medication we use go into the pigs. We don't put as much water into the lagoons, so therefore we're not having to pull more water out, spend more money on diesel fuel and irrigation, or electricity on the deep well pumps.
Manure from the hogs goes into shallow pits which are flushed with water recycled from the farm's 4 effluent lagoons. Lagoon effluent is tested 4 times a year, and soils are sampled annually to ensure nutrients are applied at optimum agronomic rates.
All the waste is flushed 4 times a day, goes directly to an anaerobic lagoon where it goes through an anaerobic process of digesting itself. And we can apply our nutrients to our grazing land, to our crop land. As you can see, it produced some fairly healthy looking cattle. We don't buy any commercial fertilizer here at all. It's all done through our nutrient management plan and our manure management from our swine operation. We're also in the process now of maybe developing part of the forest land into a silvopasture, which is where you have cattle and trees growing and grass at the same time.
You'll notice the farm is dotted with nesting boxes for bluebirds and ducks.
We try not to mow the interior walls of our lagoons in the spring during nesting seasons, because the mallards really seem to like nesting in the interior walls of our lagoons for some reason, but we've noticed that and we respect that.
The Langdons' focus on family and legacy not only drives their operation today, but also motivates their stewardship long term.
It's important for us to be good stewards because, as I said, I think living on a farm is a blessing and a privilege, and with that comes responsibility. So we feel that responsibility. We take it seriously, and not only that, I want my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren to have the same opportunity to run and play on this farm, to mow hay on this farm, and have animals on this farm. So I want to continue the legacy that's already been started here.
It's important to be a good steward because it's our responsibility to our children, to our neighbors, to the industry. It's also sustainability for us all. That is paramount. We must maintain that. My wife and I, Eileen, are leaving a legacy here as my parents did for me to our children. They watch what we do and they have learned by us and our standards. It's also good for our employees. It's good for whoever's watching, for us to be the example for others, not just to make the rules, but to walk the walk.